Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our second episode of Question of the Week with my amazingly talented friend and associate, Gori Harrison, and myself, Andreea Modrea, holistic nutrition and weight loss coach.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Not bad. It's been an unpredictable one over here, but
It has for both of us.
yeah.
All right. Anyways, we're going to get going. Our question of the week for this week was how to stay healthy in the cold fall and winter months.
A good one.
Definitely. Yeah. So again, apologies for not introducing ourselves last time. I think we were, at least for myself, I was so eager to just get started that I totally forgot the introductions. But I think our friends in our Facebook group know who we are.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I wanted to start off with is to say that our bodies are in a constant effort to maintain homeostasis, which means balance or keeping things as they are.
Right.
So when we're under stress, which is one of the top toxins that affect our bodies, or when we eat badly or pile on, work and lack of physical activity, lack of stress management, all these things contribute to our bodies going out of balance. So what causes illness is a toxic overload, right? Our bodies are basically in a state of imbalance, right? So our bodies are trying to get back to that balance and they're trying to get rid of the toxins in our body. And basically, when we're feeling ill, it's really just our bodies trying to get rid of toxins,
Right.
getting us back to balance, homeostasis. And what happens in the fall and winter, there's a natural detox process in our bodies, but also we need to be in tune with nature, the cycles of nature and the circadian rhythms, which I think in our modern world of artificial light and go, go, go mentality, it's not the case. And especially like in the Northern Hemisphere where fall and winter, we should be slowing down the way nature slows down, but we actually ramp up our activities. Like school starts in the fall, right? After summer vacation, we return to work, and work actually gets busier in the fall and winter months.
Yeah.
What else? Go
It's
ahead.
really interesting that you bring this up because I come from warmer climates and I've grown up in places that we don't have seasons. But I have noticed this trend that since I've moved to North America, which, has been for the larger majority of my life, people seasonally get sick in the wintertime.
True.
And so where I grew up, you didn't really have to adapt to seasons because the weather tended to be the same. But yeah, as how dark it gets in the wintertime and staying indoors, it dropping down to minus 40 degrees some in Ontario, circulating air, of course, those are all triggers for illness.
Exactly. So let me touch on the points that you just mentioned. Number one, artificial light. We're not getting enough sunlight during the cold months, right? It's often dark outside if there's a storm or just cloudy weather, cold.
Yeah.
But we need to try to get some sunlight on our skin as much as possible. So one strategy would be to try to get outside for at least 10 to 20 minutes every day, or as much as possible when it's daylight and sunlight. Get some sunlight on our skin, go for a nice walk, get some fresh air, right? The things that you would do in the summertime, we should be doing in the winter time as well. Not always easy, but we have to try, right? So at least a couple of times a day for 10 to 20 minutes, maybe even 3 if possible, like morning, midday, and afternoon before the sun goes down. Yeah. We should try to avoid artificial light, and especially the blue light from our gadgets. One thing we can do is turn on night mode so that we have the orange light rather than the blue light. In the evenings, if we're not going with our circadian rhythms as we should be, and another strategy would be to actually sleep longer. So the recommended amount of sleep, like quality sleep, uninterrupted, is for 7 to 9 hours. But in the cold winter months, it should actually be a bit longer, maybe at least an hour to 2 hours longer than that.
Right.
And if we are staying up, then it's better to have candlelight or some kind of orange light rather than the blue lights. And LEDs and CFL light bulbs are contributing to our ill health, unfortunately, right?
So when it comes to LEDs, is that because they influence your circadian rhythm, or do they actually have a toxic output as well aside from that?
I'm not entirely sure, but my suspicion is that there is something in the LEDs, whether it's the fact that there's halogen gases in it,
Okay.
or maybe it is just the fact that there's the blue light aspect to it, or a combination of the two that's causing us, like, without us even really noticing it, it's contributing bit by bit to our dis-ease, right? Like just being our bodies being, having a toxic burden. And another thing about being indoors is the air quality.
Yeah.
Right? In the wintertime, we turn on the heat. So if you have central heating, now you are, there's dry air to begin with, like the heating makes the air dry, which dries our mucous membranes. And when we're coughing and sneezing, that's our body trying to get rid of all of that and to lubricate, right, the mucous membranes in our sinuses and in our throat. Our body's trying to get, so when we have a runny nose and dry throat, our bodies are actually trying to maintain that homeostasis.
Okay.
And what else are we breathing in? We're breathing in dust.
Yeah.
Right? What's in dust? Dust mites. And those are like microscopic little animals that, they eat the dust, but they're pooping really. And what we're inhaling is dust mite poop. So that can't possibly be healthy, right? Like that is very toxic, very, very toxic.
Yeah.
That's so a HEPA filter, if you can afford it. I understand that it's not always affordable, but some sort of air filtration or air purifier. And you can always like just drink water with lemon all day long. One suggestion is to have a glass of either like room temperature water or warm water with organic apple cider vinegar in the morning.
Right.
Start your day with that. It kickstarts your metabolism and your digestion, but it's also very supportive for your immune system, as is the lemon water throughout the day, and a number of other possibilities. Eating healthy, right? Getting lots of sleep, as I mentioned earlier. Stress management is a huge, huge factor, right? So taking time for self-care, exercise, doing yoga or Tai Chi or meditation, all sorts of possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially with the way we celebrate in the wintertime as well. It gets very stressful. Shopping.
Yes, absolutely. We were discussing that last week.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we do have the odds stacked against us, which is why I'm so grateful we do have this series going on because, hopefully we can avoid some of the chaos, additional chaos to the festivities. With that said, I do have a quick question when it comes to light exposure and getting that vitamin D via the skin. I live on Vancouver Island and it is gray. And perhaps we are getting some UV rays through the clouds, but it's, perpetually like England, for example, right? Throughout the winter.
Yeah,
Would
here
a
too,
vitamin
in
D
Ottawa.
supplement? Yeah, fair. Would a vitamin D supplement be helpful?
Absolutely. That was one of the topics I wanted to touch on is supplementation.
Okay.
Right. So I wanted to talk about food first. So we need to continue to eat healthy, especially as in the winter months, we have a tendency towards sugar cravings, right? We tend to crave more carbs and sweets, comfort foods, right? So it's really important to think about and plan ahead to continue to have healthy meals. And I mentioned last week about, eating half of our plate or filling half our plate with dark green leafy vegetables, high glycemic, excuse me, low glycemic, high fiber vegetables.
Yeah.
But they don't have to be raw. You don't have to be eating salads all winter long. That's probably counterintuitive to going with, the natural flow of the seasons anyways. They can be cooked. Like you can have broccoli and asparagus, bok choy, right? Cauliflower, all those things can be cooked. Even the greens, right? Leafy greens, spinach and kale, collard greens, all of those can be cooked. They can be put into a stew with some higher glycemic vegetables like sweet potatoes, which are incredibly healthy, root vegetables, and what's eating in season like root vegetables and squashes, right? Zucchini or butternut squash, pumpkin, all of those things can be put into a very delicious stew, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And warming, like
Yeah.
we're seeking out warming foods. So that's a, really great way to maintain good health, but also to, stay warm in the wintertime. Yeah. So we're going to talk about supplementation. So yes, vitamin D, really important. Get a good quality supplement, right? That's one thing I really want to stress upon is getting quality supplements. Go to a health food store. Don't just buy them, at the local drugstore or supermarket, off the shelf. There are plenty of brands that are synthetic. So you want a good quality natural supplement, usually in an oil base and preferably an organic oil like olive oil.
Got it.
For the vitamin D, that is, right? Vitamin D is one of the fat soluble vitamins. It's actually a form of cholesterol,
Okay.
which is really important for maintaining good health, especially for our brains, right? What else? Vitamin C. Everybody knows about vitamin C for preventative maintenance of good health, right? You can, I would say, start with a daily dosage of 1,000 milligrams per day of vitamin C. And vitamin D, you might want to get a blood test to see whether you are deficient, right? The normal recommended amount is 1,000 international units, but that's not nearly enough. Most people in North America or in the Northern Hemisphere are deficient in vitamin D. We're not getting enough. Like for me, and I'm just talking about myself, please check with your doctor or your health professional to know the exact dosage that's right for you. But I take 4,000 international units in the summertime, and then I increase to 5,000 in the fall and 6,000 in the winter months. And that's just me. But you can take higher than that, right? Like, but just be careful and be aware, and definitely talk to your health professional about it. Zinc, another really great daily supplement for maintenance of good health, right? So those three are key: vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc. And to help with the absorption of vitamin D, you can take a vitamin K supplement as well.
Okay.
Right? Vitamin D and vitamin K sort of go together. There are actual packages where they include the same one or the two of them in the same capsule.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at that as an option. And then if you are starting to feel some symptoms coming on, you can start taking things like echinacea,
Okay.
right, for prevention. Quercetin, right? Marshmallow root, right? Those are all good things. There's a supplement called NAC, really good for maintenance of good health and prevention of, typical seasonal illness, among other things. I mean, it's good for a variety of things to maintain our good health.
So it's interesting that
Go
you
ahead.
bring this up because I was just saying, it's interesting that you bring this up because my husband just sent me a message saying that he feels like he's coming down with something.
Mm-hmm.
So he regularly takes the vitamin D, vitamin C in the morning. Can he now add the zinc and quercetin and all of those options to his regular regime, or is
Yes.
he reducing some and
Yes.
doubling up on others?
No, no.
Okay.
In fact, if you're feeling symptoms, it's actually a good idea to maybe increase the dosage. And for vitamin C, for example, you can increase the dosage up until you start noticing a difference in your poop.
GI. Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are other things that you can take if you have a cough.
Mhm.
Elderberry syrup is amazing for coughs, as is pineapple juice. Those are great. I wouldn't normally recommend juices because they're very high in sugar, but pineapple juice for coughs is really amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I mean, you're not drinking it all the time, right? Just for a short duration.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just straight pineapple juice.
Straight pineapple juice, preferably organic, uh, not from concentrate or, just pineapple juice straight up.
Got
Mhm.
it. Good to know.
Yeah. And that's about all of the things. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. Those are just a few like top strategies for maintaining good health through the winter. If anybody has any more questions, by all means, reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook at Andreea Modrea, or on Instagram at Our Healthy Path. Our Healthy Path being uh, my entrepreneurial company for nutrition coaching.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this, and helps us set ourselves up for success in what is expected to be a busy season.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining me. And we look forward to having our question of the week, series number 3, next week. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye for now.